driven in 30 years, but every now and again he gets a fucking pain in his arse, and he gets somebody to drive him down to this monastery that's down the road. And he walks into the monastery. He goes into the monastery when they're giving mass, and he rolls up a snowball and he sticks it in his head, and he just walks up and down the aisle in the monastery, fucking shouting and screaming with a snowball in his head. Walks back out, gets in the car, and gets brought home. Like, this is just how he breaks the monotony of life every now and again.
Wow.
Yeah.
They're probably waiting for him going, when is Lee Scratch coming in with the snowball on his head?
When's Lee coming, yeah. But yeah, he's still kind of in demand. He still is highly sought after.
Imagine his discography.
Yeah, it's outrageous.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah. Even if you go to Wikipedia and just look at the stuff that he's touched, you know what I mean? That he might have only done a little thing on.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's mad, like. Whether he's, like, clinically mad, I don't know. But he
definitely, he could have broken his brain with that much weed.
Well, I think he agrees that he done something to himself with the weed.
Yeah.
That he smoked so much. There's just footage of him smoking joints the size of baseball bats.
Yeah.
You know, like, that was just, you know, live and die by the reefer, like. But yeah, that's Lee Scratch Perry. Again, another fella you could most certainly talk about for fucking hours. But who's your next one?
My last one is Vince Taylor. Brand new Cadillac from 1959. His real name is Brian Morris Holden. He was born in England. He's a rock and roll singer and the lead singer of Vince Taylor and his Playboys. As far as I know, he's the first guy to popularise wearing full leather as a rocker.
Okay.
Even though I thought it would have been someone in the Teddy Boys in the 50s. Anyway. This kind of, a lot of people say, oh no, that was Elvis. But Elvis took that look apparently.
Yeah.
From Vince Taylor, who wasn't an amazing singer, but he was an absolute frontman.
Yeah.
A lunatic of a frontman with this band, the Playboys. It was just pure rock and roll.
Yeah.
This song's okay. It wouldn't be my favourite thing in the world, to be honest with you, like that. But a few things I found interesting about Vince Taylor was, I knew his name, but I didn't know much about him, and I knew he was considered another one of those acid casualties. He broke his brain with acid, 100%. He was just took too much of it. But before he found all that, he was playing with the, I think he definitely had problems before he took LSD. That's sort of how it happens with him anyway. He was playing with the Playboys, and he would randomly not turn up to a gig. They'd be like booked, like a proper gig. He wouldn't turn up to it. And, they'd be like, where were you? He goes, I rang my girlfriend to come to the gig, and she said she wasn't coming, so I'm not coming. And they were like, right, okay. She went, I have to go look for her, because I know she went with her fella, and I can't go out on stage and play the gig if she's not there. So they were like, grand. So they were signed by the stage and missing massive gigs, massive sold out gigs. He wouldn't turn up, so they left. They broke up and said, no, fuck this. So he needed a bit of money, so he moved to France to play a gig where he was put down on lowest on the billing, which made him absolutely enraged. So he went out there first and absolutely stole the show. Apparently went absolutely mental. Yeah. Gave the performance of his life.
Wrecked everybody coming after him.
Yeah, wrecked them all. So the promoters started putting him up there on the billing. And all of a sudden he got massively popular in France. Yeah. For a while during like the 50s, is the 50s or late mid-60s? He was absolutely huge in France. Like the biggest thing in France. He was still getting paid from stuff. Now, I don't know. He was with the Playboys at this stage, but I don't know. I couldn't find out whether they were the original ones, the ones that left,
or the
new
together.
Ones. Yeah. But whatever happened, he had to go home to England to pick up money for them. And while he was there picking up the money, everything seemed all right. He was doing well in France, really well. Everything was going grand. Someone goes, "Do you want to try this LSD stuff?" And he was like, "Yeah, give us a bang of this." With that,
wow.
All the money he had just picked up, he went, give me more of that stuff. Yeah. And he kept buying it and literally cracked his brain in no time. Gone. Like absolutely cracked. His band were coming up to him going, where's that money? And he goes, don't worry about money. I'm God.
Yeah. In me blood. That's where that money is.
And they were like, what do you mean you're God? He goes, yeah, I'm God now. I'm getting messages from God now. And they were like, oh, for fuck's sake, here we go. And they were like, seriously, you're a fucking sap. Give me the money. And he goes, I have a bit of the money left. He took it out of his pocket and set it on fire in front of him.
Oh.
And he goes, like I said, I think the quote is apparently, all you ever think about is money. God is what you should be thinking about. I am the son of God's son. I am the new Messiah. Money is nothing. And this is what I think of money and burned it. And they were penniless.
That's a common theme throughout LSD usage. Let's get that straight.
It is. That's what it absolutely is. The next night, he was ragged at this stage. The band were looking at him going, right, you're not ready to play a gig. But the next night he turned up in his leathers with his chain, freshly clean shaven, and they were like, fuck, he's okay. He's back on it. He's fine. He can pull this together for a gig. Goes out on stage and starts talking about him being the Messiah. They were like, oh, no. So that was the end of it. That was the end of that kind of the band. Like, you can't go out to a bunch of rock and roll kids and go, oh, let's talk about Jesus and all that. They were like, no, that's it. It's gone. So his career was finished. He'd gig every now and then for money and stuff like that, but not with the bands.
Yeah.
The venues got smaller, the crowds got smaller. He returned to London and started taking more acid, where he met David Bowie. He used to meet David Bowie a lot and David Bowie would chat to him all the time. David Bowie would see this guy all burnt out, all fucked up, like, and chat to him and go, this guy is really, really interesting. And one day he met David Bowie, and stopped him outside his house in London, and he said, I want to share something with you. David Bowie was like, yeah, okay. He goes, I drew this map, and this map is where all of the alien bases on Earth are. Just so you know, I want to tell you this. And David Bowie was like, right, okay. He goes, now, so there's UFOs going to launch from here. There's extraterrestrials living around us here. And what did David Bowie do?
Wrote a song about it.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
It's fucking Ziggy Stardust.
Yeah.
The whole thing is just, Vince Taylor is Ziggy Stardust. He just went, this is genius.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, while that launched David Bowie's career, poor Vince Taylor died in Switzerland, of all places. Really? Yeah, died of Switzerland of cancer in 1991. And he's kind of forgotten about.
Yeah.
Weirdly, another person who wrote a song about him was Adam and the Ants, written by Boz Burr.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Yeah.
Chances are Boz would have known him if he was
probably in London. Yeah, in London about that stage. But that's kind of another story of like an acid casualty of someone who, like, obviously this guy had a few personality problems before that, but
this turned him up.
Yeah, and you hear stories about microdosing LSD is supposed to be really good for you.
Apparently, microdosing everything is good for you now. I don't know. Cunts microdosing MDMA every day and fucking ketamine.
I should start microdosing Guinness.
Start microdosing money. Be into that via the Patreon.
Microdosing money, just taking in only tiny bit of money. That's the opposite. You want to macrodose money.
No, the Patreon is microdoses basically. It's less than a $5 a month. Did you know that?
That was a nice segue in there. Do you have another one?
I've got one more.
You have got one more. Listen, that was Vince Taylor. There isn't a massive amount of information, but the main story about him is the fact that he is Ziggy Stardust.
He be Ziggy.
He's Ziggy Stardust, or the influence from him. And if you listen to some of the lyrics, like fighting with his band, fucking his brain up, coming too egotistical. Ziggy Stardust, the burnt out rock star. And to be fair to David Bowie, he never became that, which I love about him. Because if he ever had become, it would have been like a self-fulfilling prophecy that he became Ziggy, but it wasn't. It was him. Who's the next one?
My last one is Sly Stone.
Yeah, he's definitely fun.
The song is Brave and Strong. Fucking hell.
Big fan of Sly and the Family Stone. I loved him.
So he's born Sylvester Stewart. He probably invented funk music. Probably. Everything he kind of done was not taken, but elaborated on by groups like Parliament and so on and so forth.
It's definitely slowed down music, slowed down like rock and roll. So it does sound like just very groovy, very groovy.
Fucking Jesus Christ! Lee Scratch Perry went on record saying that Sly Stone has done so many drugs that even if he gave them up, he'd never come down. Like he was made of drugs. Jesus. Like he is the prototype kind of Rick James, you know.
He is drugs.
he is
become
the drugs,
one with the drugs.
Let the liquor do the talking. Like he's just he like essentially even the times where he was kind of sober, he was never 100%. He'd done that much.
It's still in the system.
Yeah,
all coming out.
So
what did he do? What kind of stuff was he into?
Coke was his main.
Coke
was just his baby. Like live and die by the bag. I
think Coke is a stupid fucking drug.
It is a stupid fucking drug. But so by 1971, by 1971, he was so late with his album, with his kind of I think a second album or a third album that the label had to just say, "We'll give you $1 million if you finish it."
Oh.
So he was like, all right, yeah, grand.
That's class.
Yeah, so off he went. That's
like the opposite of punishment.
Yeah, well, that's how Supergrass got the name for their second album, In It For The Money as well.
Yeah.
They didn't name the album, or it hadn't been finished, and the label said, we'll give you like $50,000. So they said, we'll call it In It For The Money then.
Brilliant.
That's where that name came from. But So 71, they offer him a lot of money to finish it. By the time this album didn't really have the Family Stone on it. He started bringing guests in.
Is this after the Sly and the Family Stone?
No, it's during it.
Oh, right. Oh.
He basically just locked himself away in this little home studio and he just started making mad fucking music that was just layers upon layers. Again, more of a Lee Scratch Perry kind of feel to it. And because he was working off a shitty little 4-track, all the songs ended up with this weird kind of hiss that it cost him a fortune to try and filter out. In the mastering process. So that this album, I can tell you exactly what this fucking album is called now. I should have written it down.
Oh,
it's very
I know
important.
it. I know it. It's just him on the front looking all happy.
No, it's Fuck My Life. The album is called There's a Riot Going On.
I love that album.
Yeah.
I have that on vinyl and I swear to God, I listen to it, I'd say once a month because it's just so fucking good.
Yeah, but he started bringing people in. There's very few people from the Family Stone actually on this album because he just started bringing guests in and it started getting real weird. He had Bobby Womack play a lot on it. He made, while they're making this album, There's a Riot Going On, he made Bobby Womack stay awake for 6 days without sleep. Jesus. Playing bits. I think the same bits over and over again. Because he was past the point of actually needing sleep.
Yeah.
You know, he was just that drug fueled. They had a gig in Rotterdam. And 10 minutes before the gig kicked off, he jumped on his private plane and he flew to London to go shopping, saying that he'd be back on time.
Yeah. And, I know people in bands that would do it.
That's the thing. I've absolutely experienced that
You've
before,
experienced...
but not via private plane.
And everyone in the whole band just starts flipping out and freaking out.
I'll be back in a minute, like. I'm just going to get chips. But chips take 10 minutes to cook.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we're on in 3 minutes. Yeah, so Sly decided he wanted to go shopping in London. 10 minutes for the gig, jumps on his plane saying, "Should I be back on time?" Like 10 minutes. Yeah, it's fine. It's only down the road. Get the fuck out of here. But in 1979, he was carrying a gun around with him. He started getting real paranoid and he thought everybody was out to get him. It kind of gets even weirder. He was notoriously always late for things. They couldn't control him. He just operated off his own schedule.
They have a bit of that in that show, Vinyl. He was in that, wasn't he?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. I only watched a bit of that. I need to go back and finish it. So what his manager getting helicopters for him. So if he was staying in a hotel, they'd get a helicopter from the hotel to the venue. Because literally, they would fly him from the bed.
It seems like every time he fucked up, they rewarded him.
Kind of.
That's brilliant.
He was such a big...
I know, but that's class.
So one of the gigs, him and Bobby Womack kind of took him, kind of became responsible for him.
Yeah.
But they had to take turns. Everybody in the band had to take turns and looking after him. They had a name for it. I can't remember what it was called. Fucking Sly Control or some shit like that. They take turns kind of minding him. But Bobby Womack was the guy that decided, right, I'll take him under me fucking wing to a degree. And so one of the days they had to get the helicopter from the hotel to the venue. So the helicopter takes off and starts whizzing across the town, wherever the fuck they are. And they had to turn the helicopter around and go back to the hotel and land, because where Sly was sitting, there was a draft coming in the side door and it was blowing his mountain of cocaine away that he was doing. So apparently what he would do was that, a couple of hours before the gig, he would just pull out a kilo bag of coke and literally just start railing into it. And this was his pre-gig kind of thing where he just started smashing coke into himself.
I wonder how... I'd say that happens a lot.
Oh, yeah. But yeah, went up in the helicopter and the breeze started blowing his cocaine away. So he started losing his fucking mind and freaking out, trying to open the doors to fix the fucking draft, the whole shebang, because all his coke's blown away.
That'll definitely work open.
So we had to swap seats with Bobby Womack because there was no draft on Bobby Womack's side. So he could literally just stay on it all the way until the gig. Kind of by the end of his performance career, he used to, he had a house full of people. He invited everybody back to his house all the time. And he used to walk around wearing a full leather jumpsuit. He'd walk around wearing a full leather jumpsuit and he would just issue commands to people. So he'd get up in the morning.
Random cunts.
Just whoever was in the house, he'd go, you stand over there.
Yeah.
You go into that bedroom. You stand still. And he'd just stand there doing coke, looking at them. He's like, you sit down now. You face the wall. Like, this was what he done. Now, they could have wheeled him out of retirement